why don't you break down what you meant by you need to start talking about a championship now in January?
There's 30 teams in the
Correct.
Am I correct? There's 6 teams that have high probability of winning the championships. In the West, it'll be the Denver, Clippers, and Phoenix, right?
Okay.
They get it done. It starts here. You have to believe we can win the championship. That's the first thing you have to do is believe we can win a championship. Thick and thin, up and down, you have to believe. So they definitely have what it takes. You got Kawhi, you got PG, you got Harden, and then you got a Hall of Famer, Russell Westbrook, coming off the bench.
And you have Norman Powell and Zubac and Miles Plumlee.
Before I talk about this team, let's see what happened in the offseason. On October 31st, 2023, it was announced on ESPN by Adrian Woj that the Los Angeles Clippers, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Oklahoma City Thunder had made a trade. In this trade, it includes the 76ers getting Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, and KJ Martin, and multiple picks from both the Clippers and Thunder. In exchange, the Clippers got PJ Tucker, Filip Petrusev, and James Harden. The Thunder got back some stuff too, but they aren't really important for this video. Anyways, for a while now, we knew that James Harden was going to get traded away from the 76ers, but it was only a matter of when. And with the new rule that the NBA had made, the 76ers basically had all the control when it came to where James Harden would be traded and who they would be in trade talks with. We also knew for a while now, for those of you that didn't know, that the 76ers and James Harden had let's just say a poor relationship with each other, going as far as James Harden saying in an Adidas event in China that, and I quote, "Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of." But with the new NBA rule, once again, Harden had no control and couldn't force his way out, so he just had to hope and pray that the 76ers would eventually trade him, which of course they did, traded him away to the Los Angeles Clippers. Once this trade happened, people started to say that the Clippers just built a super team and that no one was going to stop them. Well, Harden's first game with the Clippers saw him face the New York Knicks on November 6th, where he would have 17 points on 6 for 9 shooting with 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and a plus-minus of -18. Not the best debut, and it didn't help that this loss continued the Clippers' losing streak, now being at 2, and it would keep continuing with this team who would end up having a 6-game losing streak. At this point, the Clippers' record for the start of the season was 3-7. Every NBA fan is making fun of them now, and no one's really taking them seriously. And some fans are even saying how the 76ers came out as the winners of this trade. People even started to talk about where Kawhi and Paul George would end up next season, thinking that there's no way this team stays together after how bad the season is going. No one feared them, and no one cared about them. But that's where people messed up. The Clippers would go on multiple winning streaks, with their biggest one this season being a 9-game winning streak. Kawhi, Paul, and Harden would look like a complete big three that very few teams go toe-to-toe with. And the rest of their team was looking great too, with the likes of Zubac, Westbrook, and Plumlee, to name a few. As of recording, the Clippers are the 3rd seed with a record of 36 wins and 17 losses. Since their first 10 games being 3-7, the Clippers have gone on to win 33 more games and only lose 10 times. Even though they are the 3rd seed, the Clippers are only a game and a half away from the 1st seed as well. Even looking at their stats, the Clippers are one of the best offensive teams in the league right now, being 3rd when it comes to offensive rating, which makes sense when you look at the superstars on this team. Speaking of superstars, let's look more into the Clippers' big 3. Let's start off with Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard has had an amazing year. He's averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a field goal percentage of 53% and a 3-point percentage of 45%, which for both percentages is the highest he's ever had in his career. Kawhi is doing so well that he's starting to be in talks of winning MVP. Now, these talks aren't loud amongst the NBA community, but still, he is getting MVP talks nonetheless. Not only that, but he's played 48 out of the 53 games that the Clippers have played this season, which is very impressive for Kawhi. And with the new 65-game rule added this season, I'm sure we'll see Kawhi play at least 65 games, which would be the most we've seen from him since the 2016-2017 season. Yeah, you heard me right. It's been 6 NBA seasons since Kawhi has played at least 65 games or more. Now, of course, it's not entirely his fault. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, so you have to put that into consideration as well. But it is still shocking to know how long it's been since he's actually played at least 65 games. Now, let's move on to Paul George. Paul George this season is averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists with a field goal percentage of 46% and a 3-point percentage of 39%. He also has a free throw percentage of 91%, which is his career high, and I just wanted to put that out there as well because obviously free throws are very important in the league, and that's awesome to see from Paul George. Just like Kawhi, George has been very valuable to this team all season, with multiple games as the leading scorer. He has definitely been showing everyone this season that he is a good player and that he, Kawhi, and Harden can win a chip together. And just like his buddy Kawhi, it's been a while since Paul George has, played 65 games. Looking at the stats on here that I'll show you, the last time George played at least 65 games was the 2018-2019 season, where he played 77 games. The Clippers can only hope that Paul George can do that with this team. Overall, though, Paul George has been a phenomenal player and has definitely been a hard player for opponents to guard. Now, last but not least, let's talk about James Harden. Now, it's no secret that Harden is not the same player he used to be. This season, he's averaging 18 points, which is the lowest ever since his 3rd year in the league, where he had averaged 17 points that season. He's also averaging, he's also averaging 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and a field goal percentage of 45%, and a 3-point percentage of 42%, which is a career high for him in 3-pointers. The thing I noticed about this team as well is when it comes to the big 3, all of them have a career high in something, which is just great to see. This is showing that they are really trying to improve as players and do the best they can to help this team win a championship. And again, that's just really awesome to see. It's great to see that they're really improving and that they really care about this team and are putting basically 100% into this. Like, they really, really want to win. Anyways, though, back to Harden. Harden has shown to this season that he can take the back seat and let others be the driver for a team. With the 76ers, I felt like that was a problem for James Harden because I felt like he still thought he was the main guy on the team. And with the 76ers having Embiid, that was going to be kind of hard to do because, again, it's Joel Embiid. He's the main guy, not James Harden. It just felt like this, even going as far back as before the season, and you could also say a little bit at the start of this season, it just felt like James Harden still thought he was the main guy on this team, even going as far as saying that he is the system. But with the Clippers, it seems he's gotten humbled and realized that his days are long gone from being the guy. Now, don't get me wrong, James Harden can still be the guy in some games here and there, which he has been for the Clippers, but I would definitely say, and people can agree on me with this, that he is no longer the number one option on a team. I would say that's more so either Kawhi and Paul George for the Los Angeles Clippers. So, with that happening, I think this will also help the team a ton for future games and potentially the playoffs. And what's also great about this team is that they finally got it meshed together and have had great success with this team. Now, back to the question at hand, which I assume I'll put as the title of this video. Are the Clippers championship contenders? Now, to give a simple answer, yes. The Clippers are championship contenders without a doubt in my mind. And that's coming from somebody that clowns the Los Angeles Clippers all the time in any video I make. But I feel like the real question that should be asked is if this team is good enough to win a championship. And to that I say, maybe. But here's why. If we look at some statistics that were provided by ESPN, the Clippers are 19-14 against teams with a 500 winning percentage or higher. Now, that's a lot of teams you've lost to that were considered good, but it is a winning record at the end of the day, so we'll just brush it to the side. Now, let's look a bit deeper. ESPN also has a stat that shows games that were decided by 3 points or less and 10 points or less. When looking at the 10 points or less games, the Clippers are 21-8, which is incredible to see that the Clippers don't get freaked out and mess up in close games. But what if the games were really close? Like 3 points or less close? Let's look. The record for this stat is 1 win and 3 losses. That's not good, especially when in the playoffs you will have many, and I mean many games that will come down to the wire, and you can make the argument that it's not fair to make this claim or even point this out because the Clippers just haven't had a lot of games this season that were this close to show how well they can perform. And you're not wrong. The Clippers only had 4 games where they had a situation like this where the game was determined by 3 points or less. But that's the problem. I fear that the Clippers might not be ready for a situation like this come playoff time, and they could potentially lose a game because of this. Not having this kind of experience is definitely going to tell when you're in a playoff series where this series is determined by a game that's close by 3 points. Let's say it's a game 7 and they're up by 3 points. Then all of a sudden their defensive game gets broken down and now the game's tied. They go to overtime and they lose. And it doesn't help either that the Los Angeles Clippers have an average defensive rating. The Clippers overall are around the halfway point. They're like 13th in the league when it comes to their defensive rating. So not having a good defensive game too is really going to crush them. It also doesn't help that their team plays like has a small ball lineup. So playing against big men is a big problem for them, especially when it comes to rebounding. This is exactly why I see this as a problem, since they have a pretty average defensive game. And I know the playoffs are by far a different environment than the regular season, but you should at least consider these things come playoff time because you need to be ready for situations like this. This is something that could determine your future, your career, and the franchise you play for from being a laughingstock to a praised franchise. But of course, as everybody says, anything can happen in sports, and that includes the NBA. So we'll just have to wait and see to see what happens to the Clippers. So to end this video off, the Los Angeles Clippers have been really great this season, which is nothing new coming from them, so we'll just have to see how they perform come playoff time. Again, I do make fun of them a lot. I tell you guys all the time, I think the Clippers are a laughable franchise. But that doesn't mean that some of the players on this team I don't want to see win a ring. I do want to see Paul George win a ring. I want to see James Harden win a ring. and I especially want to see Russell Westbrook win a ring. So that would be cool to see. So there is a part of me, a small part of me, that does want to see them win and hope that this team can be successful. Also, that too, when it comes to Russell Westbrook, I know I didn't really talk about him much, but Westbrook has been phenomenal this season for the Los Angeles Clippers, and him coming off the bench really helped this team a lot. So I'm just happy to see he's finally found a home, especially after it not working out with the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's just, nice to see for him. But now that this will officially be the end of this video, so I appreciate you all for watching. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this video and, just your opinions on the Clippers and how they're doing. And I know it's been a while since I've last uploaded. I was sick, so I just couldn't really make a video. My voice didn't sound very good, so I was just waiting until I was at least 90% good to finally start making videos. And yeah, I just want to also say a huge thanks to you all for helping me reach 300 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. You guys are amazing, and it's just awesome to see that people really do find my videos interesting to watch and subscribe to. And definitely let me know how you feel about this video again, because I'm gonna start doing more videos of this kind of format, so I want to see your guys' opinions on it. Obviously, there's more videos coming in the works with the All-Star break happening. I think I'm going to plan on doing my thoughts on the NBA season part 2 video. So definitely keep in mind on that sometime this weekend. That'll probably be the next video I do. As for anything else I wanted to say, no, I think that's it. Again, just once again, thank you for 300. Obviously, now we're getting closer to 400. I think we're at 370 subscribers right now, so we're only less 30 away from 400. So it's really awesome to see how fast the channel is growing. And yeah, that's all I really have to say for that. Make sure to like this video, subscribe. Again, comment down below what you thought about the video and any other teams you would love me to talk about as well. And as always, I am your host, Jeremy. This is the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel, and I am signing off for the day. Have a great day, everybody.